Good morning. So, I believe it was last week or the week prior, I made a kind of like a somewhat week of, so we went over suicide awareness. We went over what is the definition of good, even if you take out um, the what we are raised or grown to classify as bad. If we took that out of the equation, what is the definition of good? I should say, what is the definition of bad? And then we talked about family. And so I feel like this is a good time to start talking about mental awareness. I came from a family that had mental illnesses. My mom's bipolar, she was never diagnosed. My sister has Asperger's. My nephew has is autistic. So I have mental illnesses that run in my family. As along with many millions of other families out there. They, that's just a normal thing. I am slightly, besides my speech impediment, I am slightly dyslexic. Not to the point that they can diagnose me with it, but they did, and when I was in school, they did recognize that. And I'm a little bit dyslexic. But it's not to the point that I could be diagnosed with it. It's just like, hey, just, keep an eye on that, kind of thing. But other than that, I am mentally well. But one downfall of aging is when you get older, your brain declines and you have more increased chance of having mental illnesses when you get older. And some people, some individuals, I made a video about relationships yesterday, and some people pursue people who have mental illnesses for the benefit of what the mental illness can do. And others don't chase people who have illnesses due to, the social, because they want to keep a certain reputation with people. So for each their own, some people want to be surrounded by people who have mental illnesses, and there's other people who do not. And that's the personal, for the personal reason, I'm a person who believes in freedom of choice. And so if you're willing to open up and talk to me about it, I would love to listen. But if you want to keep those opinions to yourself, I am not going to intrude into that part of your belief systems. But I have made quite a few videos in the past, and I feel like people are just having a difficult time dealing with themselves with the new of everything. Because the thing is, we need to go through time, we need to go through years to overcome things. And if we don't, like, there's a lot of things in life that's not quick fixes. We can't just be like, okay, we're gonna do this now and it's all done. That's not how things work. There's a lot of waiting in life, you know, they're like, okay, we need to overcome this. How many days, how many weeks, how many months, how many years is this gonna take? And sometimes doing nothing, so like finding a hobby, is finding a extra job, finding family or people who you can connect with, or finding different interests will fulfill that gap. But we don't need to go into like the the inside of the waitingness of the game, you know. We can just do like the outside of the waiting game. So you're like, okay, this thing is going to take the many years. Okay, I'm gonna have to wait through this. So, you know, you just sit and you just wait until it's over. You know, hopefully while you're doing it, you're doing other stuff, you know, but you have to like wait it out. And you can't speed up the process, or you can't like slow up the process, you know. It's just things that like, there's just certain things in life that you have to wait for or not wait for, you know. um and and so my thing is, let's go into mental illnesses. um I not me, not I. So there's certain people who likes to hang out with people who are a little bit slightly mentally ill, and they do it for their own reasons. But sometimes they do it because they feel like they have the power of control. They are neglecting the power for themselves. So if they hang out with people, they can bully them, or but to the people, they don't look at it as that. They look at it as more like teasing or joking, or but it hurts that individual, you know, and it gets them to do and things that they may not typically do, or may typically do but do more often, you know. And that is called manipulation. And so people who do that, you know. And it's not everybody who hangs out with people who are slightly mentally ill, you know. You can do it with people who have insecurities. You can do it with anybody with, you know. But it's but I made a video about being mentally ill. I hope I posted something. And like, my thing is, you can have a really successful life. Most people who are dyslexic, I believe, or like most millionaires or billionaires are dyslexic. Like, could you imagine, and they didn't even like go to college, and they're like million and billion dollar years. So like, you having a disability or you having a mental illness shouldn't hold you back in life. As long as you are getting like the right training and the right guidance, and having the people who want good in your life, as in like, they're not gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna do this for you. Instead, they're gonna be like, hey, I'm gonna help you do better at this. There's a difference. I feel like anybody can be successful in life. And so no matter what your weakness is, don't ever let it hold you back, you know. And don't ever let people push you around because, you know, they have the ability to.